Today I'm down here in the east of England, over in Essex, at a town called Walton-On-The-Naze. I'm here to look at something a little bit different. See, Walton-On-The-Naze is one of the UK's premium spots for shark teeth hunting and fossil collecting. And I'm here today to explain to you some of the fossils that you can find on the beach, how to find them, and why they're so prominent in this area. And as the tide goes out here at Walton, we should get a better view of the beach and hopefully find some fossils. You can clearly see the layers of cliff here at Walton. The bottom layers are composed of soft London clay, which is about 50 million years old, and the top section is layered red crag, which is about 3 million years old. As the cliffs are built up, shells, shark teeth and other organisms have become trapped, causing fossils to form. The cliffs are incredibly prone to erosion, and as you can see, it's incredibly close to the beach. Now if we look at the strand line on a regular tide, the maximum height of the tide will usually come to about here, but you can imagine on a storm how, if this is its highest point, the waves will continue to batter the rock. And that is what releases the fossils. The best way to start finding fossils here at Walton is to find these patches of gravel, and the best way to do it is just simply get your hands in and explore. Spread it out as far as you can and see what you can find. I mean, we've already found a piece of petrified wood there that could be millions of years old. So far we found no shark teeth or no real fossils of interest, but we have found loads of this petrified wood. Now you can clearly see the wood markings here, and they used to be wood, but it's got kind of the density of a rock and kind of the weight of metal. And now what happened to these is they got caught in the cliffs just behind me, as I explained earlier, and were compressed over years and years, and it became this really hard, firm, dense material. Perhaps most interestingly, I managed to find this. Now this is a smooth rock, which you can see would have been curved at some point, and clearly a piece of wood got stuck in the rock, which has caused this cool pattern with some of the fossilised wood still stuck in there, to be stuck to the underside of the rock. So that's definitely coming home with me. That's a really cool find. Now Walton's also really interesting. As you can probably see behind me, it has these big sort of crater things. Now these were used in the war as a watchtowers or lookout posts. So you could see ships coming in from sort of Amsterdam and France way, because the Channel and the North Sea is over there. Some of them are completely empty, just big lumps of concrete. And they were used as decoys, so if anyone happened to fire from the sea, the chances are they'd hit a decoy. Now the ones further out there, that one's actually shallowed out, and you can still go into it. Kind of grasp a feel what it was like to be one of the people stuck in kind of the front line of the world wars. It gives you a real insight into what it would be like. So yeah, it's just a bit of cool information. Another niche, unique thing about this beach, which not many others have. This is a close-up of one of the bunkers that I was just talking about. You can see some of them had windows like these ones, and then the ones further down there are just solid concrete in the hope that they'd fire at them. You can see inside it's full of water and probably home to a lot of crabs now. The sand's built up in it over the years, and you can see the fucoids and the green seaweeds that have built up all over it. So right at the end of that time lapse that you guys just saw, I actually managed to find one in the gravel. Now I'm not quite sure what species of shark it's from. I'll try and do some research on this when I get back home, and I'll place it on the screen. But this is what you're looking for. Now this isn't the best specimen, it's a bit battered and a bit bruised and a bit, worn down, which you expect them to be, they're millions of years old. But what you're looking for is this distinctive cartilage point and the grayed off bone of the tooth. You can usually tell as it's chipped in the middle, and it'll be smooth on one side. It's still incredibly sharp after all these years, but what you're really looking for is that cartilageous to bone split. I'm really glad I found at least one today. Managed to find another tooth, but unfortunately this one is a lot more damaged than the previous one. It's hollowed out and the cartilage isn't attached to the top, but it's a lot bigger. Well, would have been a lot bigger if it was fully intact. Still cool that I am finding shark teeth, just not in the best condition though. Hopefully I'll find one in a better condition. Another two of the most common fossils you'll find here at Walton are these old shells. And you can actually date these just by looking at the colour, but I'm not 100% on the accuracy of it and how to do it. But the way you can tell is you can see the shell has a slightly kind of orangey bronze tinge to it, and same with this shell. And now by looking up at the cliff, you can kind of see that there's the orangey tinge is on the cliff, especially kind of their region. I don't know how well this is going to show on the camera. And you can kind of date the shells by the colour of the sediment compared to the colour of the shell. So obviously the bottom layers are the older layers, and they get built up one by one over millions and millions of years. And these shells just kind of get stuck in it, and there's thousands of these along the beach. They're not as common as petrified wood, but they're incredibly common and still very cool. I've just stopped to do some more shark tooth hunting here, and I found what I think is a first for me on the beach. This, I believe, is a fossilised oyster shell. Now, it's not a very big oyster, admittedly, only a juvenile. But it's the first for me on this beach. Usually you find the shells that I showed in the shots previous, but yeah, it's the first for me. It's an interesting find. I didn't know you could get oyster shells. Well, that concludes my time here down at Walton today. The tide is now fully out and it's about to start coming back in, so I haven't really got long. It's a quick tide tonight. Managed to find the two shark teeth, a load of shells and that cool bit of petrified wood. Yeah, I appreciate any support or any feedback really, that'd be great. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you guys next time.